Roar!
Ew.
V is for Velociraptor. The museum was quiet when Billy snuck out of his father's office. His father was the curator and had to take Billy along with him for his late night. The sun had set, and Billy was too young and energetic to let an office hold him. For a kid, it was the greatest feeling in the world. He ran through the empty corridors and exhibits. Only twice did the lumbering security guard almost spot him. It didn't take long for Billy to find himself in the dinosaur exhibit. The models to the 12-year-old stowaway were so incredible. They were beyond compare and larger than life. He assumed they'd always been that way. At least, that's what he thought before. Tonight was different. He wanted to feel the awe, but he couldn't. Something felt off. He lost interest. He took off down the hall, running again out of a primal urge. He raced through endless stretches of granite halls before he turned a corner. He paused, stumbling forward from his momentum. There was an exhibit out of place. A skeleton model stood not 30 feet away from him. A Velociraptor. Skeleton stood in the center of the shadowy corridor. Its neck was craned like a bird. The white bones were significantly shorter than Billy. Its arms hung, folded against its ribcage, and its long, toothy snout was turned just to the model's left, straight down the corridor towards Billy. Billy, forgetting for a moment it was only a skeleton, tried to match its placidity. He had the strangest need to not startle it. His breaths became intervals too sudden, and too loud for his liking. He truly believed it was alive, or at least he pretended it was. How else could it have gotten there? But that was just his imagination on steroids. Surely it hadn't gotten there on its own. Then he noticed the model's ribcage expand and contract, as if it were taking breaths. The model's head tilted slowly. It was almost a curious motion. Billy was no longer frozen by choice. As their staring contest continued, the raptor continued to tilt its head. Left, right. The raptor was trying to figure out what to make of Billy, and Billy wasn't sure what to make of the raptor. Billy found his control once more. He was aware of a twitching in his right leg. He managed to move his foot back. To his shock, the raptor responded in kind. It stretched out one of its legs forward. The long, sickly-like claw on its minidal toes cracked hard against the ground. The sound seemed to echo through the hall. Billy shivered. He took another step. Again the raptor followed. Its gait was significantly longer than Billy's. It seemed to bounce forward with each step. With each step Billy took away, the raptor would get closer. So Billy stopped. So did the raptor. It watched him. Billy knew that even without eyes, it was looking right at him. The skeleton's claws twitched and fidgeted. Billy was being sized up. Through a glance to his right, Billy saw it. His father's office. The light was still on, but the door was shut tight. He was farther from the door than he was the raptor. Seconds wafted by, and his eyes danced. The raptor didn't move. Billy didn't dare call his father. The raptor would be on him too fast. Maybe if he ran. Maybe then he could call his father as he was running. His father would open the door for him. His father would help him as long as he brought himself enough distance and time. Tears fell as he tried to make a decision. It was so far, but it was his only hope. The decision was made for him as the raptor's jaw descended. On a hinge, it slowly swung open. It lowered like a ramp to a plane, ready to rip and tear. The silence was murdered by a howl. The raptor was yelling, screaming, and it sounded just like Billy. The lungless beast spread its razor-clawed hands wide, ready to embrace its prey. It charged at Billy. As he turned, Billy cried out for his daddy. He wailed and he ran. He wouldn't make it. He was sure of that. He wouldn't make it. The screaming had stopped, but Billy would cry all the way home. His father comforted him, but he never believed Billy. He even tried to show the screaming, wailing child on the way out that indeed the Velociraptor had never moved. It remained frozen, with its arms held wide and its jaw hung low. And a howling thank you to my Patreons.